Hello fellas, so today in this video we are going to repair this Black & Decker cordless screwdriver. The problem is that when you put this screwdriver in this charging dock and power this up in the mains, you'll see that it does charge, but even after leaving it for charging for a couple hours it would still just work for a couple minutes. It seems to me that, of course, when we open this up things will be more clear, but it appears that the rechargeable batteries that are in there are probably drained out. We gotta replace those batteries. So let's get on to it, but before that, please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell icon so that you can receive notifications of the latest upcoming videos. Let's move forward. So let's look it up. We have crosshead screws here, and I'm just going to open this thing up. Okay, so just keep these 5 screws on the side and try to wiggle it open. You don't want to just be careful, don't drop anything out. Okay, so it seems like I've replaced them before as well with some batteries. Let's do that again. So there are 3 batteries, 3 rechargeable batteries. I'm just gonna take them out. Okay, there we go. Everything else looks fine to me. So guys, if you take a look at this, these batteries are really not good quality. Oh, they are joined with, this thing looks nasty. Oops. Yeah. So these are 1.2 volt rechargeable batteries, and of course it's no brainer thing, but they're joined in series, and that's what we're going to do. So I bought 3 new batteries, 1, 2 and 3. So the ones right here are 600 milliampere hour. The ones we are going to replace are 700 milliampere hour. That means they have better capacity. Oops. So look at this series joined. Let me put this on the side for a bit. Meanwhile, I'll turn on the solder, and we are going to pack them in the same way. So I have this, and I will put this like this, and then I'm going to join them with tape so that we have them all aligned. So I've joined them with the tape just like that, and I'm going to join them in series, this with this one. So I'm going to tin this small piece of metal wire. See that? I'm going to tin that with solder. So the soldering tip is pretty nasty. It needs to be tinned quite regularly. For changing the soldering tip, you can see my other video. So just like this one, I'll use a wire, use a wire clipper to basically clip off extra wire. Okay. So the best practice would be that maybe get a little more of solder in there. You just need to feel that it has made a nice strong contact. And you can obviously have a better feel when you're doing that yourself. So this thing looks pretty strong. So this was the positive. I'll clip the wire from here as well with the wire clipper. Maybe a little more. And let's go to the back side. So this one, just like this one, are connected in series. I need to connect this one to this one, again with a piece of wire. So I'll hold this in the tweezer, just like that, and try to tin it first. Make it just need to make it hot, wait for a while, and try to tin it first, just like this. Then it will be much easier to solder that to here. Step number next, you need to do the same tinning thing here as well. Clean the tip, heat this thing up a bit, and try to apply a little bit of solder, not too much. It just needs to wet the surface and start sticking to the surface. Yeah, you see that it has started to wet the surface. You need to keep cleaning the tip of your solder again and again. Now we're going to solder this over here. Just check occasionally with the tweezer. Don't touch it with your hand because this thing is pretty hot, but this seems to be pretty strong. I can feel that with the strength of the tweezer that I am applying with. Next step, again very simple, just like that. Do the same thing to this. Heat this thing up for a while, start to apply. Okay, it has made a nice contact with the surface of the cell or the battery. Next, just very similar to this one, just keep this as a reference because you never want to make any wrong connection, although it's very simple and straightforward. You just need to connect the 3 batteries in series, and that's just the key. And this black wire goes to this battery. I'll just use a wire clipper to get this thing off, get the wire out. I just tinned the wire right here, and I'm going to now in the next step I'm going to first tin the surface of the battery. This process is pretty straightforward. Like I said before, you just need to heat up the surface till you think that it's hot enough. Just start to melt your solder to it, and then it will start to make the surface wet with the solder. If you apply solder with your tip first, it won't wet because the flux inside would have evaporated and it won't do the thing. So the wire is tinned, that portion is tinned. Now you'll see how straightforward it is to get this thing. You just need to put this here. When this thing wets, you're actually almost done. So I feel like the solder is a bit less in this region. I'll just put a little bit more. Looks pretty nice to me. Okay. Okay, so I know that these batteries were charged before. I'm just gonna check that once by fixing it just briefly to my this thing. And voila, it's back. So now we're just going to assemble this back. I would actually, these are a lot of clips. I would just clip the two wires out. I would take this thing out and this black one out as well, and then solder the two wires together and put the shrink tube on it. Because these wires are these clips are just going to obstruct things important. I have the shrink tube, or the shrink, whatever you want to call it, and I will cut this first, and I would insert this. This is important. A lot of people would make mistake that they forget to insert this beforehand, and then once they have done the solder, they realize that, okay, I forgot this thing. It's a small thing, you could desolder the wire again, but hey, if you pay attention, you could save a couple minutes. Again, these wires are a bit too long. I would reduce the size and then solder these. So guys, off camera I've made these connections, and then now I will bring the shrink tubes to the region of solder, and I'll bring a hot gun onto this region to basically shrink wrap this thing. Looks great. Let's check it once again. Perfect. So I'm gonna tape these sides with electrical insulating tape so that they don't make any short circuit by, you know, any misfortunate reason. So I have completely wrapped the batteries inside this. I'm going to fix this back in and fix the wires to a region where they don't interfere with any moving parts. And this charger strap should be aligned, and that's your basically alignment marker. Let me change the camera view. So those clicking sounds are actually good in a sense that they would give you an indication that the thing has gone and sit down nicely at the place where it's supposed to be. A good practice is always that you don't tighten the screws all the way in the first run. Just tighten it lightly, because that is also a step that basically would let you know, the thing to sit down at its mold. You see that? If I would have tightened this could have, you know, gone wrong, but it seems like something might be sticking out. But yeah, so you could push the wire in, which is slightly outside, and then it sits nicely in. And then in the second run you can tighten it to the max. It's back. Next step, we just want to see that the light turns on, and yes, it does. I mean, the batteries were not fully charged, but they were charged enough to give us an indication that this thing is back and up and running. You see that the sound is going down. That means that they really need charging. Charge them, since these are new batteries, charge them for, I'd say, 12 hours, and then you are done, guys. So we call it a day. Guys, if you like what you see, please subscribe to my channel. Please hit that bell icon so that you can receive notifications of some cool videos, upcoming videos, and as always, thumbs up.